July 2025. Today is day 13 of the challenge, and that means we are working on the prompt junk mail. This is Serendipity Intended, and my name is Tracy Ann, and I am super excited for today's challenge. I have collected quite a bit of interesting junk mail from some of the local theaters, and I found this one that I thought would just be perfect as our focal image. I started using that bigger pair of scissors and realized it was just too big. This flyer's fairly chunky. And he was a bit of a beast to cut around. I've actually seen this actor on stage. He's very funny. So I decided to go around the outside edge first to get rid of the bulk, and then go back and trim out that spot between his face and the paper. So I wanted to use colors that worked off of the opposite page. I added both that little owl picture and also the stamp over top of something that was already there, just because I liked them together and I liked them on the background. Then decided, okay, I will use those colors as the jumping off point for the page on the other side. So I decided I wanted something. I'd hoped to find a page of Shakespeare, but couldn't do that. And so here I am trying a few pages that I did find to see what I liked. And surprisingly, this, I'm not sure whether it's Chinese or Japanese or some other Far Eastern language, I apologize. But I ended up using that page because I thought it was the most interesting and I liked the color white. Now, I really try not to be too terribly precious about trimming papers here, and I rather like torn edges. So I'm really just trying to make sure that I get pretty much the whole page there. In retrospect, I probably should have done a better job of centering that type so that it was more centered on the page, but not that big of a deal. Have you ever noticed that you never tear evenly when you're filming? Now, the bottom of this page is going to get covered up, so I'm not terribly worried about that. I'm just going to take off enough that it's not hanging off the edge. It doesn't have to be super precise, because I am going to place the guy a little bit further up from the bottom of the page. And once again, my trusty catalog to use to glue. That way I can be a little bit messy with my application and it doesn't do anything to my work surface. Last minute, I decided I liked that little box in the top right-hand corner, so I flipped the page over. You see, I have him down the bottom, and then I start looking for, I needed a word, and I liked the quote that said, do more of what makes you awesome. And so I chose the word create to include there, and I'm going to use that. And then I wanted something for the top right-hand corner to add a little bit more fun color. So here I am playing around with some pieces. I find this kind of play a little bit easier to do if I just pull some pieces that I think will work, and I limit myself to those, unless I absolutely positively decide I need, say, a color or a shape that I don't already have. finally decided that I thought it would be great to cover up that piece of paper and use the word create in his hand. Does anybody else have a stash of fun magazine cutouts like that? I have a little envelope that I keep of just fun images that I find, and I knew I had this paint picture here, and so I thought that would be great to use. And then I remembered I had the sheet from Flow magazine of all of these different items to cut out, and I thought, oh, that ruler would be awesome. It's a great pop of nice, bright, fun color, and I can use that on this page as well. I took the painting out because I decided that I was going to use some more of the shapes from the page. So I cut those out and then elected to use the black to edge each of them. You can see me doing that here with the roller. I thought about doing it with the word and then decided I was going to wait on that because I wanted to add some additional color. So I went ahead and edged him and all of the other pieces as well, and you can see me showing. I decided that that pink and yellow stripe wasn't enough pink, so I grabbed another little piece I had from actually a magazine photo and slid that in, liked it a lot better. Time to figure out where I was going to place those tools. I liked them here. It kind of looked like he was holding on to them, or they belonged to him somehow, which kind of made everything make sense. I really wanted to use that spray can somewhere, but I couldn't find a place for it. Then I decided that I would cut out and away the paper that he was holding there in his right hand and replace it with one of the paint tubes. So you can see me removing that section that I didn't need anymore. And then that let me take that paint tube and make it look like he was holding it, which I really, really liked. So yeah, that definitely would work, and kind of on the front of his chin like that. And then I decided to create a slot around his hand where the other paper was, and not cut it out, but just create a slit or an opening so I could tuck the word create in and it looked like he was actually holding it in his hand. I think it's fun to try and incorporate something that's already existing with what you are adding to make them look like they've always been together. I decided to use a little bit of Distress Oxide ink to add just a bit more color. I wanted to bring in some more of that green from the other side, and also to pull out the green in the man's costume as well. And then I went around the edge and added some black to help it pop a little bit more. So I use my art glitter glue to glue down the paint on the back, and then glue the create down on the front. And with that sort of assembled as its own unit, it was time to put the page together. I didn't want to lose the placement of those 3 very skinny implements, so I glued down just the bottom of them and let that sit for a few moments so that it would adhere, and then I could come back later and worry about the rest of it. I was having a little bit of trouble with some of the lumpiness from pages underneath, so I added that notebook just as a hard surface so that I could work on something a little bit flatter. Marked this spot off where I wanted the ruler to be so that I could figure out where to put the guy to get him in the right place. Okay, then I went back down and I glued a little bit further. I did not worry about gluing the top of this. I kind of wanted to leave them loose at the top so that they would pop up a little bit and create just a really slight 3-dimensional effect. Since the bottom of that was going to be covered, tore it off, reduce some bulk, and also keep the rest of it to use for another page. That flower shape had a hole in the center, so I took the opportunity to add something to that hole and also to put a little bit more green onto that side of the paper. I had to decide which side of the flower I wanted to use. That's what I was just doing there. And then once I picked the side, I went ahead and attached it where it needed to be. Then with the background complete, I could go ahead and glue down my guy. And finally the ruler. I did trim the edge of that rather than tearing it, just because the guy right above it was cut off and I wanted the two of those to be the same. And that was pretty much it. The last thing I needed to do was to add something to the other side. You see there, I thought about that larger bottle and just decided it was too big, but the glue bottle was just about the right size. I ended up deciding to put my day label along the edge of the glue bottle. It felt a little more incorporated into the spread that way, and also made the glue bottle make sense. I hope that you enjoyed watching this page come together. Happy creating. Make a great day.